All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Barcelona. We are here for the Spanish Grand Prix. It is round 14 out of 16 for the ISRL Esports Division 2 Championship here, and it is going to be a good one here, and hopefully a little bit more exciting than what we saw with the actual real-life Spanish Grand Prix. But if Division 3 has anything to say about that, we are in for a treat here. Hello and welcome, everybody. Thank you for tuning in here for what is going to be a fantastic race. Like I said, I'm your host in the commentator's booth, Fallen Monkeys, back at it again for some action. Your voice here at ISRL Esports, and we are just kicking off our short qualifying session currently with Aizen as he is out on an outlap, and you'll see we've got 16 drivers here on the grid, so not necessarily a full grid. Mother's Day proving to be a bit of a challenge here for us. Lots of drivers have obligations, and that is perfectly alright, but we will trek on, and I'm sure the racing is still going to be fantastic. Spain, of course, it's not necessarily a favorite track here as far as the game is concerned. I've heard it referred to as Pain, where the S is silent here, but we'll ride on board with Aizen and see how he performs on his first flying lap to set the tone here. Now Aizen, normally a Division 3 driver, here reserving in Division 2, taking another crack at it. Didn't necessarily have the best qualifying in Division 3, but definitely made up for it with his race strategy, and we'll see if he can ride that momentum here on the higher tier of Division 2, and it could possibly be a name to see in the possible upcoming seasons for Division 2 if he's going to keep up that consistency. Through Sector 1 into Sector 2 now, as heading towards the ever-daring Turn 8. You've got to watch out there. Probably one of the easiest places to lose the car if you're not careful. Hard on the power through the next corner into the DRS zone. Takes it absolutely perfectly there. The way you want to do that, you don't want to go too wide. Already seeing some yellow flags here in qualifying, as I think it's just drivers letting each other through for positions. Now, through Sector 3... here. This is a very tricky section. This will make or break your lap, if I'm going to be honest with you all. You've got to nail, especially this section here, that final chicane. You don't want to clip that yellow sausage curve, or else you are going to lose a little bit of time. But all in all, a pretty good lap for Aizen. And as he crosses the line, it's a 1:16.6 to kick off this session, but we'll switch over. KTM Sweden has an invalidation, unfortunately, so that is not going to be too much of a lap. Nole, though, on the other hand, he's on a flying lap right now. Well, let's get the tire detail up. So Mivako or Nole, I'll refer to him as both names here through the streams, so just be aware of that. But in the Ferrari, currently the championship leader here in Division 2, had a fantastic season last year, as we've mentioned, and has definitely carried the momentum here into Division 2. Has not skipped a beat, and looking to continue his very strong performance in Division 2, and it looks like our new in-house weatherman, Michael Fierez, indicating sunny all the way, and this is what we love to see here. Sun shining, no rain, so we're going to see the drivers at the peak of their performance here on what is already a demanding track here at Circuit de Catalunya. But Mivako, Nole, crossing the line. It's a 1:17 flat, essentially, on those medium tires. Not the quickest pace. Bumblebee, he's the fastest on the medium tires thus far, with a 1:16 flat, so about a second faster. But Nazareth is heading the timing tables with a near 1:15 flat on those soft tires. Still loads of time to go here in qualifying. Now, I was going to keep an eye on Cohen as he sets us, I think he slows down on his lap, setting a very pedestrian 1:17.4 on those soft tires. So possibly looking to set a qualifying time on the mediums before the end of the session. Redding here in the McLaren, he goes 6th fastest with a 1:16.6. Now, as we'll switch over to Dark for the time being in the Red Bull as he's about to finish a lap. I'm going to talk a little bit about strategy here. Now, of course, you can do a two-stop, soft, medium, mediums, but you can also attempt that one stop, assuming all goes well, if you do qualify on the mediums or opt to start on the medium tires. Then in which case, you can go medium to hards, or possibly if I'm going to call it the dark strategy here, you can go reverse hards, and then depending on how long you can take these hard tires, if you want to start with them, you can go hards to softs, but much more comfortable on a hard to medium strategy if that is what you're looking to do. But we'll see what the drivers decide they want to do here in the race. But we still have to get through qualifying. 12 minutes to go. Nazareth still leading the way with his 115 flat. We'll see what Jordan can do as he's coming around the final corner now. Definitely not going to be setting a time, as we can see, diving into the pits. And crucially, his teammate of Newt Potato doing the same thing, diving into the pits here. So that's not what the AlphaTauri team was ideally looking for, as especially Newt Potato being the second driver behind. He's going to be held up a little bit more than what he would like to here, as he's going to have to wait for his team to tow his teammate into the garage before they can work on him. So a little bit of a time loss for Irish Newt Potato, but given the amount of time left here in qualifying, I don't think they're going to be worrying about this too much. Now, Michael Fierez here in the McLaren, the number 66 orange McLaren. He's about to start a flying lap, and he's on the medium tires. So we'll see what he can do here as heading down the start-finish straight into turn 1. We're right on board. You can see you can go that outside line a little bit, and that is exactly why, because if you don't take a wide line through that corner, you can very easily invalidate, or it's a lot of time lost. And Michael Fear is showing exactly that, actually, is apparently I'm struggling for words here in this early on in this session, just getting into the groove here in the commentaries booth, and we should get all of this ironed out before the race truly kicks off. Now we'll stick with KTM Sweden as he's about to start a flying lap, and we'll right on board. We'll take us through a lap, assuming it is valid, heading down the start-finish straight, and this is a bit more of a line you want to be taking. Cut the inside corner, shoot for the grass. Do the same thing with turn 2, quickly on the power as you head around into turn 3. You can take this flat out like you saw in the real-life Grand Prix. Take a very wide line here through turn 4. You want to hit an early apex, just barely clip that corner on the exit there, but don't go too wide as you'll spin out. Very tough braking, downhill left-hander, quickly on the power, approaching that ever so dreadful turn 8. You can clip a little bit, but you got to watch out on the acceleration because that curve has a tendency to send you off. Around the next corner, oh no! And that is a big moment for KTM Sweden, and just like that, possibly a commentator's curse for me here, KTM Sweden out of qualifying on the next corner. It's a very go big or go home type corner. As you can see with Krishna, you can take it flat out, but you have to watch out. And speaking of watching out, that was almost a scary moment for Krishna as he almost ran into Nazareth, who might not have been aware that Krishna was coming around, or might not have thought Krishna was on a flying lap. We'll head back to dark now, right around the same section. That's an invalidation through turn 8. So, pain where the S is silent. The Spain circuit here at Barcelona really causing issues in these early stages. Now, Michael Fierez, it looks like he's doing a second lap now. Got a little bit more clean. We'll see. You heard that in the engine. Just a slight lift from the McLaren driver, and that's the give or take. You can go flat out, but when you do take it flat out, you're running that risk of unsettling the car, going a tiny little bit wide, and ending up like the Williams of KTM Sweden. It is a little bit more safer to take a little bit of a safety lift here, or as Martin Brundle called it in qualifying yesterday, a confidence lift, but you are going to lose out on time. But we'll see where this puts him here around the final corner. Crosses the line. That's P8 for Michael Fierez on 2-lap-old medium tires with a 116.7. So still a very good lap time. But I think here, from now until the end of qualifying, we're going to see a lot of improvement on these lap times here. But I'm starting to see more drivers opting to set some lap times on the medium tires. One of which, or I thought one of which, was Irish Newt Potato, but not looking to be on a flying lap, not using any ERS. So maybe just getting a banker lap in on these mediums. Let's take a look. Synchro, he's on a bit more of a true flying lap here as he's coming through into turn 8. You saw riding that curb just a tiny little bit from the angle and just cut turn 9 just a tiny little bit too much there, it seemed, as that is an invalidation. So just taking the inside line a little bit too much there to Synchro, and that is a wasted lap on the medium tires, unfortunately, as he still has yet to put a time on the board. Now Cohen, he's in the Alfa Romeo coming across the line here. What's the time going to be? Once again slowing down. He does improve to a 1:16.7, but this is the second lap time I've seen for Cohen, as he looks to be on the pace, but slamming on the brakes here to right at the line. So I think Cohen, I'll be honest, keeping a couple sandbags here in the in that Alfa Romeo here, trying not to show off his true pace until the end of qualifying. Nole, though, on the other hand, our championship leader, he goes much faster. It's a 1:15.3, and that puts himself into a provisional P2. But Nazareth still heading the timing sheets here with 6.5 to go in qualifying, and looks to be on an even quicker lap here if that Sector 2 purple time is anything to indicate. So we'll stick with him in that number 19 Mercedes. Now, a lot of you know Nazareth from Division 4 if you tune in to our streams on Wednesday, but definitely showing he's got pace here around Spain in Division 2, crossing the line. Is he going to go faster? Yes, he does. 2.5 tenths faster goes Nazareth. It's a 1:14.790. So he extends that gap between first and second, and is the first driver to break into the 1:14s here in Spain for Division 2. So now the question is, how is everybody else going to respond to this? Ephraim, he is on a lap right now in the Renault as he's coming through into the dreaded turn 8, turn 9, probably the trickiest section of the circuit here. Let's see how he handles it. Doesn't look to be on a lap, though, now that I'm looking at the ERS. No, he's, I think, indicating he's either warming up the tires or telling the stream he's not on a lap, so we'll leave him to do what he's doing here. Synchro, though, he's on a lap on those mediums, so we'll stick with the Racing Point driver as he's coming through around turn 3, approaching turn 4, using that AlphaTauri that was ahead of him for a tiny little bit of a tow, but very quickly getting out of the way, and that's a little bit of a give-or-take strategy there, as you do have to modify your ideal racing line. But we'll see. I'm sure Synchro and the Racing Point team, they've done the calculations to determine whether or not that is going to be enough of a time saver. Coming through into turn 9 now, approaching the DRS zone, much cleaner this time around as he keeps it clean, keeps it valid on those medium tires. Dark, though, oh no, that's a big moment for Dark as he is out of qualifying, no time on the board, and it looks to be on the exit of that... Let's take a look. Let's ride with Ephraim very quickly as we'll get a better idea. So coming through that downhill, quick on the acceleration, just a tiny little bit too quick, I think. And that's Dark out of qualifying, and his wheels still very not happy, bouncing around there. But oh no, we'll stick on board with Ephraim as now we see his teammate. That's Krishna out of qualifying. You saw that tire just to the what is now the right. I think coming around the exit of turn 9, clipping the curb, trying to save the car, but it was too little too late in that high-speed section, and that is the end of Krishna's qualifying with a very pedestrian 1:17.8, and he is going to be starting essentially currently in P13, but that very well could be P14 if Jordan puts up a lap. So here in qualifying, we're in the late stages, but we're seeing exactly how difficult this track can be for a lot of drivers. Synchro, though, while all that was happening, he went a little bit faster, puts himself up into P7. It was a 1:16.1 for the Racing Point driver, so right near his teammate, but that's medium tires for Synchro. If I look at the best tires, Demorts, though, his teammate, also set his best time on the mediums. So it appears as though a lot of drivers have been opting for these medium tires, maybe looking for the one stop here. Now, Michael Fierez, that was an invalidated lap, but possibly an out lap for him. But it does not appear... Oh, that was a this and next lap invalidation for Michael Fierez. Definitely not what he wants to have happen here this late in qualifying, but conserving his ERS, probably conserving his fuel, and he's going to have to set probably one more lap on this same set of tires. So he's going to have to watch out the tire wear, or he risks qualifying in currently P12. Maybe not the ideal position for him. Now here comes CRL Mark on the medium tires as he is on a flying lap, coming through the ever so dangerous turn 8 and turn 9. You can see how unsettled the car gets. Seems like it's an off-camber type corner here, but Mark handles it fairly well. Could be just a tiny little bit better, but we're trying to just really polish off that lap there if we're really going to start nitpicking what happened there. Just that tiny little tank slapper can lose out on maybe a tenth or two of a second. But as he's coming through sector 3, very much so a make-or-break section. Let's see how he handles it. Much cleaner than some of the others we've seen. Not riding that sausage curb, taking a tiny little bit of curb on the final corner, heading across the line, and that's P2 for Mark on the medium tires. So a very solid lap time. As right behind him, I think that was Cohen on the medium tires, as he now set a lap time he's probably much more happy with. That's a 1:15.4. So the Alfa Romeo team currently second and fourth, and they might be going out for a second lap. Mark isn't, but I think Cohen will be. Jordan, he's finally got a lap time on the board as he went 9th fastest, so finds himself in the top 10 on those medium tires. So a good lap time from Jordan here, as he does put himself into an ideal spot to start on those mediums. But if I look at the best times, other than Ephraim, Nole, and Nazareth, they are all times that were set on the medium tires as far as the top 10 is concerned. Aizen, though, is in 11th on a flying lap. He is on those soft tires, a fresh set of soft tires, so he might be able to ruin somebody's day here as he's coming around the corner. Now, that was, I don't think, that yellow flag, that is an AlphaTauri, just kind of parked there, letting other drivers through, as I believe that was Jordan, who was on an in-lap now, or possibly just starting an out-lap here. But here we are. I'm looking at the chat here. Eklund cheering on KTM. KTM not having that qualifying you was hoping for. But, of course, qualifying is just that. It's qualifying. It determines where you start the race. And as we all know, where you start the race is not where you finish the race. That is definitely a certainty here. So, still a lot KTM can do, but he's going to have his work cut out for him after a bit of an early mistake in qualifying. Aizen, though, he's abandoning that lap on those softs, so it was not going to be faster, or he did not want to improve. So here at the end of qualifying, it's all going to come down to this. Who is currently going to be taking pole position? It's Nazareth, who's heading the timing sheets for the moment, but currently Irish Nude Potato, he's looking to be on a lap, but oh no, that's an invalidation for the AlphaTauri driver, so he's not going to improve, going to remain in P6. Let's take a look. Synchro coming around on a lap right now. Can he improve on his time? We'll take a look at the Sector 2 time. He's about half a second faster, so that can bring him into the 1:15, so it's looking to be a solid lap time for him, but he's got to keep that momentum through the final sector. Nazareth's definitely happy with that 1:14.7. He's out of qualifying here. So it's Bumblebee who's right ahead. We'll keep an eye out on these drivers. That's Cohen who dove into the pits. Here comes Bumblebee across the line. He goes third fastest with a 1:15.3, but very quickly beaten by Synchro, who goes third fastest with a 1:15.1. So Synchro putting a lap together on those soft tires. Bumblebee as well on those soft tires putting a lap together, but he's on 2-lap-old soft tires here, as you can see. So probably a tiny little bit more wear for Bumblebee, but that's going to do it here for this short qualifying session. It's going to be a Mercedes starting on pole position. Oh my goodness, where have we seen that before? Mercedes on pole, but it's not Lewis Hamilton. It's Nazareth who is on pole position with Mark in second, but keep an eye out on Mark because he did set that time on the medium tire, so can go longer, so possibly at a bit of an advantage here once the strategies start to play out. So it's Nazareth in the Mercedes starting on the soft tires. He got pole position with a 1:14.7. Mark in second on that front row of the grid. Synchro in third, followed by Bumblebee, with Mivako Nole rounding out the top 5. Cohen in 6th. Ephraim From Tabone in 7th, Irish Newt Potato in 8th, Jordan in 9th, and Demorts rounding out the top 10. Aizen, best of the rest, poor man's pole position in 11th. And as I head down the order, there you have the rest of qualifying here. But that has been short qualifying here at Spain, and we are just about ready to kick off the race here. Now, as we normally do, the drivers are going to take a moment, get their strategies sorted out, figure out what they want to do with the tire strategies, the fuel, get into that race mindset. Now, Division 2 normally kicks things off a little bit quicker, but we just got to wait for the cue from Jordan. And for those who are just tuning in, hello, welcome, thank you for joining. We are just finishing short qualifying, getting ready to start the race. My name is Fallen Monkeys, here in the commentator's booth, gonna take you through the action once again this week on what is this very lovely Mother's Day here in Spain in the game. What looked to be a lovely Mother's Day in Barcelona in real life, and also where I am here too. It's a very nice day. So happy Mother's Day to everybody watching, especially if there's any mothers watching here today. Happy Mother's Day to you all. But here we go. We got the cue to start from Jordan, and we will be kicking off this session in about 20 seconds with the formation lap and then the start of the Spanish Grand Prix. It's going to be 33 laps here around Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya, as I am pronouncing that as best as I possibly can. Here, I'll be honest, Spanish is not my primary language. It's probably not even my third language. English and French are the two that I speak. Get to know a little bit more about me in the commentator's booth week in, week out. But here we go. Nazareth leading the way on the formation lap. Let's get this tire detail up and ready. So Nazareth on the softs. So expect him to be flying off the start with Mark on the mediums. So he's really going to have to warm up those tires very well because he might be at a disadvantage in the early stages of the race, especially with the likes of Synchro, Bumblebee, and Nole, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. All on the soft tires. Then crucially his teammate Cohen also on the medium tires. So both Alfa Romeo drivers opting for those medium tires, so that could be a bit of a strategy issue for them here as this race plays along, but I'm sure they'll get that sorted out. Ephraim is in 7th. He is on the soft tires with Irish Newt Potato and Jordan and Demorts all opting for those medium tires as they set that was the tire they set their best qualifying time on. Now, Aizen, P11, best of the rest. He opted to start on a set of medium tires, so he is probably looking to do the one-stop similar to his strategy in Division 3 not too long ago. Redding is the first of two McLarens on the medium tires, with Michael Fures also on those medium tires as well. So possibly a little bit of strategy conflicts with the McLaren team, also similar to the Alfa Romeos and the Alfa Tauris, as both drivers are on the mediums looking for that one stop, but they'll get that sorted out. Now, in 14th is Krishna, and 15th in Dark. Now, they both opted for the hard tires. Now, Krishna, I think he's looking to do a hard to mediums or even a hard to softs. Dark, I mean, he's running that same strategy that he does all the time, the reverse strategy that works out very well for him as long as he can keep it clean. So we'll see what the Red Bull driver can do here. With KTM Sweden rounding out the field in P16, he is on the medium tires, so going to be looking probably that medium to hards. And of course, all of the strategy talk is assuming everything goes well and we don't see our wonderful cars of safety. But of course, it's Spain. There's a very good chance that we'll see it, especially with the drivers pushing the way they are. But here we go. The formation lap has come to an end. We are just about ready to kick off 33 laps around Spain. It's the Spanish Grand Prix here at Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. Once we get the cue for the 5 red lights. And here we go, up to 3, 4, and 5 red lights. And they are off after a long wait, but we are racing here in Spain, and it looks to be a good start from everybody. But look at Mark trying to go down the inside here, leading into turn 1, but we've got 3 wide right behind here between Nole, Synchro, and Bumblebee. Oh no, and that's Bumblebee taking a spin very early on here, as that was going to end well, but oh no, that's Nazareth taking a spin. I think that was Jordan as well getting caught up into incidents after turn 1. It's all gone off here. Heartbreak for the Mercedes early on as they're having a moment, but we still got some battles here. Here's Irish New Potato trying to keep Redding behind him, but Redding is going to try to go down the inside, and D-Morse wants to get involved here too. We're going to settle the single file as we approach the ever dangerous turn 8. I think I saw Michael Furis try to get an overtake done, but he is going to think better of it. For the most part, we've got through relatively safe on the first lap, but here comes Redding now as he's gonna try. Is he gonna lunge one down the inside? No, he's not. Here we don't have DRS on this first lap, so we might not see too many overtakes unless it's based on pure pace. But crucially, KTM Sweden, he finds himself, I was about to say in P9, but right as we say that, up into P8. But here comes Redding. He's trying to come back. They're gonna go side by side through this final corner. Oh no, right behind that was Krishna, and Redding getting involved into a collision. They're falling down the order as Krishna's facing the wrong way in the pits. Redding is facing the wrong way as he's heading into the pits. It's all gone off here in the oh my goodness, it's all gone off here on lap 1. Even the commentator can't say anything. Look at Bumblebee now coming down the inside of Dark, and is he gonna try a double move on Michael Furis here? Michael Furis struggling through. What's going on to Cohen as he's falling down the order here? I think this might just be my timing tables having a bit of a struggle as we're into lap 2, not lap 3. There's a tiny little bit of contact there between Bumblebee and Michael Furis, but that won't end up with too much here. So much going on here in the first few laps. It's absolute calamity here for so many of these drivers. It was looking to be a great start for Redding and Krishna, but they unfortunately get stuck here. And what's going on here? That's Bumblebee having to get back on circuit, as I think he went a little bit wide. He took some wing damage in the process too. So that turn 8 already taking a victim here very early on, only 2 laps in. But crucially, no safety cars, so we will be continuing onwards. Biggest shocker, though, is Nazareth, who's all the way down in 14th after starting on pole. He's now going to have to go way long, but now Mark puts himself in a great position now, leading the way, a second ahead of Nole, who's in P2, but Mark can go much longer now as Nole is only on the softs, and so is Synchro. So right now, the Alfa Romeos put themselves in a fantastic position. Crucially, though, now, here comes Irish Nude Potato. He's on the mediums, trying to close up to Ephraim, as we've got a close battle here on our hands. And it appears as though I've got a co-commentator who was able to join in. Mushroom, are you here with us? Do we have you connected?
Yeah, you do. I'm just jumping in now to spectate. I'm sorry for the delay. I was just grabbing some food before I do the 2 hours of Div 1 as well with you.
No worries, nothing, not a problem at all, but you missed an absolutely chaotic start here. Seems like cars were flying left, right, and center. Biggest shock is Nazareth, who started on pole. Now he finds himself in P12 after having to take a pit stop, getting caught up into an incident right around the first few corners. But it's only lap 3 out of 33, 30 laps to go. A lot of racing left here, but let me know once you're in, and we can go back about the business here. In the meantime, here comes Irish Nude Potato, just going down the inside of Ephraim into turn 1. There's a little bit of wheel contact there, but Irish Nude Potato does get the move done. He goes up into P5. Ephraim falls down to P6. Apologies for that, Mushroom. Were you going to say something?
You got Synchro within 2 temps really pushing no. As
but we have a safety car though, crucial. As that's Redding is out of this race. I just noticed that on the exit of what I believe was turn 11. I think maybe clipping a little bit too much curb there, and he is crashed out. So we have our first DNF, and here under lap 4 we are under safety car. And this might beg the question, do you think we'll see any soft tire runners maybe take a bit of an early pit stop here under safety car, put on a set of mediums or possibly even a set of hards to try to go long here?
If I was Mavako, Synchro, and Ephraim, I would, purely because there's nothing to lose. Them soft tyres are gonna go off soon, everyone else is on mediums and hards. I would if I was on softs. If I was on mediums and hards though, I'd say I'll just try and extend that stint for my second pit stop. Synchro does the smart thing then and pits. So he's effectively gonna get a free pit stop off these soft tyres now onto a nice new fresher pair of mediums or hard tyres coming up.
Yeah, I think he's going to put on the mediums, because I think if you're pitting
Ephraim
this...
did follow as well.
Yeah,
so,
and crucially, our New Potato as well. He pit off of the... he's pitting off of the medium tires. Synchro going on the hards. It looks like they're all going on the hards, other than Ephraim, who's putting on a fresh set of mediums here. So I think Ephraim may be committing to that two-stop strategy to go soft, medium, mediums, whereas possibly some of these other drivers are going to look to extend the hards with the... a very long hard tire stint, or maybe hope for a late safety car so they can get back on a set of soft tires by the end of the session.
Yeah, I'm a bit puzzled now as in what ISRL is thinking here. He's 4 races in on a set of tyres that he's had to qualify on, and he's stuck up behind Mark. Is he giving away an opportunity for a free pit stop here?
Possibly, but he might be thinking I might be thinking just as a counterpoint that under the safety car he can conserve these soft tires, extend a little bit longer than what they normally could, and maybe try put on the hards either way and essentially have that one stop similar to what we might see a lot of medium tire runners do. But it might be a tall order to ask.
In the race with Synchro and Ephraim, where roughly that's who he was fighting with for that second place, you've got to think, is the extension of going longer on these tyres worth a pit stop to you? Because I see this as maybe a little bit of a mistake by Nole, but let's see if he can prove me wrong and see what he's thinking as the driver, and we'll see how his strategy plans out. I'm just rather curious to see where he's going to take this one.
Yeah, it's a little bit curious here, but the only other thing I can think of is that if you did take your pit stop like Synchro, Ephraim, you're gonna have to really work your way up the field. And here around Spain, as I mean, I got to experience this in Division 3. It's not really the easiest track to overtake. You've only got one true overtaking opportunity, which is down that start-finish straight. But to do that, you've got to absolutely nail your exit through that chicane. But it's a lot easier said than done, especially when you've got a lot of dirty air behind you with the drivers ahead. So maybe Nole is just thinking, I'm in P2, I've got a solid spot here. Maybe I can try to snag the lead on Mark, who's going to be on maybe colder medium tires, and then from there just try to build a gap up until he does need to take a pit stop. But, I mean, it could go either way. We'll have to see how it's all going to play out here once the safety car does come in.
Unless Nole's thinking, like, the pace of Mark up front will be quicker than the likes of pace of Dark and Michael Fures that Synchro stuck behind, and he's just hoping that Mark will tow him away from the rest of the pack. But Cohen was looking strong as well, so I think Alfa Romeo are in for a 1-2 here, maybe. I currently see Nole as being in a bit of no man's land, if you like, compared to the rest of the grid.
Yeah, but we'll see how it all plays out as the safety car is coming in this lap. So we're going to go back to green flag racing to start lap 7 as Mark is becoming the new de facto safety car. Not really holding the field up as much as I thought he would, if I'm being honest. I think he's going to try to really time this, and I think now, or no, he's not going to go now. We're right on board with Nole, who's just waiting Very slow to the line comes Mark, but I think now he's finally going to go, as he absolutely had no choice. And oh no, that was Ephraim. Ephraim not having the restart he wanted at all, falling down the order. Here comes Nolay now trying around the outside into turn 1. That wasn't necessarily going to work out too well for him, and he has to watch out as Cohen, I think, is right behind. He's closing up, going down the inside.
Cohen, what a move.
They're going side by side now. Still, there's a little bit of contact there. They are getting through cleanly, but who is going to get the advantage as they approach this next corner? Looks like Nolay is still in P2, but now Demorse, I think, wants to get involved, trying to overtake Cohen, but I think we're going to settle down just a tiny little bit. Bumblebee, meanwhile, he hasn't had the restart he wanted on those hards, as he is getting overtaken by Aizen and falls down to 14th. But we'll see here, and I'm seeing a lot of close drivers, but here under the, since we don't have any DRS to work with, it's based on pure pace. So I think for the most part, we're going to be remaining relatively single file up until maybe 2 or 3 laps from now, once DRS does get active.
Yeah, what was noticeable about that start was Mark did a very much a Bottas restart that we've seen in a few times in the past, where he takes him right up to the line, but it really put Nolay and Cohen onto each other, and he kind of talked his teammate into getting that 3-second penalty for trying to overtake Nolay. So now he's got that advantage. He doesn't need to pull away.
Oh no! Apologies to cut you off there, but as you saw that on stream, Dark having a moment through turn 1 and turn 2. He takes a big spin and he falls all the way down the order, as he was battling with Irish Snoot Potato through that corner. Apologies for that.
Yeah, he looks like he's got away with that with no damage, so hopefully he can get back into the rhythm of the Spanish Grand Prix and really make some of that time back up, because at least you don't have to pit for a new nose cone where you lose 20-30 seconds.
Yeah, and he is looking to go much longer than the rest, as he's on those hard tires, so he can still make it up. But of course, it's taking a spin like that is not going to help in terms of the tire wear. Maybe gave them a little bit of a flat spot, or a little bit more degradation than what he was hoping for. So maybe losing out on a little bit of that tire pace after that. Plus, I mean, normally after you take a spin like that, those tires are absolutely smoking hot, and it's very difficult to get the grip, especially when you're coming through Sector 2. Turn 8, Turn 9, which are very, very difficult to take, even on well-temperatured tires. Meanwhile, Michael Fures, he's looking to go down the inside of KTM Sweden. They're going side by side through into turn 2 now. They're still side by side for a little bit, but that is Michael Fures who gets ahead. KTM Sweden going a little bit wide here, as now Synchro's going side by side with them on those hard tires. KTM gets the outside line, and right behind, Nazareth and Irish New Potato are having a nice little battle going side by side. 4 cars here getting involved. Irish New Potato, is he going to sneak down the inside of Synchro now? They're still side by side. This could get very dangerous here. And there's Nazareth. Oh, Nazareth got a little bit daring there, and Jordan now, I think, got involved too with this battle.
Yeah, Jordan's in the wall. He's got no front wing. That will be a race destroying accident for Jordan then. So he's gonna have to come back and get a new front wing on that AlphaTauri, but he doesn't get any help, Jordan, and neither did Nazareth. So it shows you just how tricky that turn 7-8 complex before you go up to the blind 9 really is with the curves.
Yeah, and I think for Nazareth, I think the move itself, trying to go down the inside into turn 8, was not going to end well just right starting off. But meanwhile, though, here comes Cohen. He finally gets ahead of Nolay through into turn 1, turn 2. Now that DRS is active, I think Nolay's soft tires are starting to fall off a little bit. Krishna, though, through into turn 2. He's had a big moment as he is now trying to get back on track. He's falling down the order.
Damage.
What? Krishna has damage?
Yeah, Krishna's missing near enough a full right side of a front wing. I'm wondering if he's been helped round there, maybe.
Possibly. Maybe got caught up into an incident with somebody else. There's Jordan getting his front wing change after getting caught up into that incident in turn 8, so he's going to have a long ways to try to catch up. Might be hoping for another one of those safety cars, so to help him out a little bit here. But
okay.
looks... Oh, what'd you see?
We've got Irish New Potato closing up on Michael Fury. He's on the youngest of the tyres on the grid at the minute, so he's net first with that early pit stop he made. So if he can make an overtake now and get onto D-Mark, Irish New Potato would be your effective leader.
And look at that, very quickly now, Irish New Potato getting ahead of Michael Fures to go up into what is now P4 as Nole has taken his scheduled pit stop to put on a set of medium tires. So Nole's might be committing to the 2-stop here, the soft medium, and that really makes it question why he didn't pit under the safety cars. He's come out now all the way down in P12, but crucially I think that was Nazareth is around again on those hard tires. So from what was looking to be a fantastic race weekend for Nazareth after qualifying, really struggling here in the race in this stage as he is down into 12th. A free position for Nole, as he's not going to complain one bit, but he's going to have his work cut out for him. Is Nole, as he is really going to have to try to catch up to the that field, catch up to this train here that's leading the way. But now it's an Alfa Romeo 1-2. So Mushroom, it looks like at least in this stage, your prediction is looking to be pretty much on point here.
Yeah. What I noticed so far now is when the two Alfa Romeos and the Racing Point do pit in the coming 5 to 10 laps, we're gonna see Irish New Potato and Synchro take the lead, which then will mean Mark Cohen, D-Mark, KTM Sweden.
Ooh, there was a bit of contact. Sorry to cut you off there, but KTM Sweden and Michael Fures are having a big battle here through turn 1, turn 2. A little bit of contact there going into turn 1. It looked much worse than what it ended up being, but now Michael Fures is swerving a little bit, trying to get out of the dirty air, show KTM he's still there in his mirrors. But I think it's now settled down a tiny little bit with KTM Sweden essentially now in 5th place. But Michael Fures is definitely pushing as hard as he can to try to take that position back.
Yeah, the place where we've just seen Nole have to take a pit stop and go all the way to last, that's going to be the same for everyone that hasn't pitted off to the mediums or off the hards yet. So Irish New Potato on 6 laps, he's in the best place here. He can go to the end on them hards, I believe, that are only 6 laps old.
Yeah, it's gonna be. It's gonna be tough because they're gonna have to last, I believe, 27 laps. Those hard tires are. But the mediums, in my experience, without any safety cars, they can only go maybe about 13 to 15 laps. So extend that to maybe 15 to 17 if I'm if I'm just going to make a quick little safety car calculation there. So I think if you're on the medium tires here, you're going to have to go on the hards to go to the end because you can't put on another set of mediums. And unless you want to do the 2-stop and use 2 sets of softs, but that extra pit stop, those 20-25 seconds of time lost is really going to affect with the grid being so close together like it is in this stage of the race.
Yeah, we've got a really jumbled up grid at the minute. You've got a lot of drivers on different tyres. The top 3 started on theirs, and then you've got Irish New Potato that pitted in the safety car phase. You've got Bumblebee, which I'm presuming pitted on one of the first few laps with 9-lap-old tyres. And everyone's kind of fallen out of sync to the normal pit strategy here. So, are we going to see in the last 5 laps chaos of maybe 2 to 3 drivers having the pacing coming through because they've chosen a pit strategy that maybe wasn't obvious at first?
Yeah, we might just. Here, I'm looking at Irish New Potato that he can go to the end, but those hard tires are not going to be fast at all if he does look to go to the end. But he could also maybe last pit around lap, let's say 25, opt to put on a set of soft tires or so if I'm just gonna rough estimate some pit stop times and really push his way up the grid if things stay the way they are, and if these gaps can continue to grow like they have been with the battling we're seeing. But speaking of battling, Bumblebee now on those hard tires, he's starting to close up right behind Michael Fures. Well, right on board here, as unable to get the move done through into turn 1, turn 2, as we expect to see. But maybe if he can nail his exit through turn 9 and get that run he needs into turn 9 out of turn 8, he might be able to close up. But it looks like Michael Fures gets a slight better run than Bumblebee does on his 13-lap-old medium tires. So Bumblebee closes up, but not enough to try to overtake Michael Fures, who, to be fair, is trying to catch up to KTM Sweden still, trying to snag that position back to get up into P5.
Dark on Asian?
Like it, I just noticed that too. I'll switch over, and that's Mark. He's taking his schedule. Oh no, and Aizen is off. Big moment. That's Aizen out of this race. And is this going to be a gift for Mark? As we have a virtual safety car. And for KTM Sweden as well, who just decided to take a pit stop here, he is going to essentially get that entire pit stop under virtual safety car. Mark gets a slower pit stop, but if you're the likes of Demorts and Cohen who stayed out, now you might be at a slight little disadvantage here compared to those who have opted to take a pit stop, like KTM Sweden. Looks like that's Nole taking a second pit stop under the virtual safety car to put on a set of hard tires. So Nole might have brought himself right back into this, but now KTM has taken a severe collision with Nazareth. As I'm not too sure, I didn't quite see what happened there, but I mean, maybe a little bit of contact, front wing to rear diffuser, but that's a 5-second penalty for KTM Sweden, it looked like, for contact. But now, lap 15 out of 33, down to 14 runners. Oh no, and that's more contact between Nazareth and KTM. Some drive-through penalties for good measure.
That wasn't contact, I believe that was speeding under the safety car for Nazareth and KTM Sweden. So. Oh
yeah, might have been, but I mean, it looked like
pitting.
Yeah, I mean, Cohen's gonna have to pit because those medium tires, I don't think they're gonna last any longer than 14, 15 laps. Demort's though staying out. Yeah, Demorts is staying out. Nazareth almost had a big moment as he's still trying to overtake KTM here after this virtual safety car restart, nearly losing the car. KTM Sweden, he's taken that drive-through penalty very early on here, right after the restart, so he's wasting no time with that to get that out of the way. Now Bumblebee once again closing up on Michael Fures through into turn 3, heading towards that downhill left-hander of, what is it, turn, I mean, maybe I'm getting my turns mixed up, turn 6?
Yeah, turn 6 into turn 7 and 8, and then you've got the blind right-hander and 9 at the top of this hill. But what's interesting about this track is people expect you to not overtake in the corners. If you can get your car up to have a good enough run and enough grip, you can actually attack into turn 6, and you can attack into turn 4. These very wide multi-line corners are open to overtakes. You've just got to be brave. Yeah, I'm starting to see that from Bumblebee now. He's starting to explore some of them other lines.
Oh yeah, especially as the laps start ticking down a little bit more. You've got to make your opportunities. Try to catch the other driver ahead napping. We'll see this lap. He's got DRS and closing up very quickly now on Michael Fures. So I think he's going to get this overtake done to go up into a podium position here, leading into turn 1. Michael Fures is going to settle behind, and I don't think he's going to be pushing here. Looking to go very long on those medium tires. I think right there it's showing how difficult it is taking these tires more than 15 laps, as Michael Fures is definitely struggling for grip here, as Bumblebee essentially made the overtake, and now already nearly it is a 1 second gap now between Michael Fures and Bumblebee. So it's I think it's showing now that the hard tires are having a little bit more pace, and those who are staying out, which to be fair is only Demorts and Michael Fures, they might want to get off of these tires sooner rather than later, because they are not the fastest tire on track anymore.
Yeah, they're definitely not the fastest trackers. Irish New Potato has actually gained on him this lap, and he will take the lead now. So let's
No,
see how
actually,
P5.
Demorts
Oh
is
no!
staying out for one more lap. So I think Demort's really trying to go long on these medium tires, but Irish New Potato, like you were saying, closing up very quickly. The gap is now less than 2 seconds between Irish New Potato and Demorts. So this is gonna get interesting. Now, if you're
I'm very
Demorts,
confused.
now, but I'm thinking here, if you're Demorts, do you think maybe he's looking to stay out until Irish New Potato maybe overtakes him and then opt to take a pit stop, or do you
He was
think that?
racing for like the last of the podium places, P4, P5, P3, that way on. She's now going to be massively undercut by Mark, Cohen, Norway, KTM Sweden. Like, there is a lot of people that is now going to repass him because he stayed out longer. I'm expecting him to come out maybe either just ahead of Dark or maybe just behind Dark and Cohen.
Yeah, it would. I mean, it would check out from what I'm looking at the gaps here, but we'll have to see. As he's coming through into the third sector, we'll see if he's going to take his pit stop here at the end of lap 18. If I switch over, and yes, he is finally taking his pit stop, so he's going to have to hope that his pit crew is on point, ready to go. But that's the question. Where is now Mark going to come, as Mark is now coming around the final corner here. Right behind them is Dark and Cohen, as they're now coming around the final corner. And now where's Demort's going to slot into all of this, as Michael Fura is taking his pit stop as well. So they both went very long. Michael Fura, though, he's putting on a set of soft tires here on his pit stop. So I think he's committing to that 2-stop, medium, soft here for Michael Fura, and just try to outgun a lot of these drivers just on pure soft tire pace. And I gotta question that strategy a little bit with the soft tires, just given how difficult it is to overtake. Now, crucially, Demorts, he came out, he's actually behind Dark and Cohen. So a little bit of a delay here. And now Nazareth is a little bit closer to, I think Nazareth is closer to Demorts than Demorts is to Cohen. But Nazareth is on 16-lap-old hard tires, so he might need to take a pit stop himself here within the next 4 or 5 laps, I would think.
Yeah, Nazareth isn't in a good place to attack right now. Not Demorts anyway. Demorts on the fresher hards will have loads more traction and everything like that. But the bigger one is, for Demorts, as I said, he'd come out behind Dark and Cohen in that little bit of a slot. So he's got that air now, with 2 drivers ahead of him that are on fairly fresh tyres. He needs to now go with Cohen, because Cohen was second in that race, after we had the bits of bobs of calamities throughout the race. So Demorts is maybe setting himself up for a net third right now.
Yeah, looking like it, but we'll have to keep a... Oh, we've got a yellow flag here, and that looks to be Sector 3, as I think that was Krishna and KTM. And we have a virtual safety car here, as KTM Sweden, his race going from bad to worse, as he has no front wing on that Williams. So this is going to neutralize the race for the time being here. Now, I'm looking here, Irish New Potato, no, he's... he's leading the way. He's got now what's looking to be nearly a 7-second gap here. So if we're going to talk about Mark, Cohen, and Demorts on that on a bit more of an optimal strategy, we gotta bring Irish New Potato, I think, into this conversation as well, because he's got a 10-second gap to essentially to Mark. So he could possibly finesse himself into a podium as well on this strategy after pitting for the hard tires, I think, under the safety car. But he's really going to have to maybe push once we go back to green flag, try to grow this gap just a little bit more. Bumblebee's taking a pit stop after, let's see, what tires is he going to put on? He's putting on a set of mediums, so can definitely go to the end on those tires.
Synchro's made a place, but he'll be looking to box as well in the next lap or 2.
Yeah, I think so. Might be running a similar strategy to Nude Potato, I think, as Synchro. But props to Synchro, though, for keeping up with Mark as good as he can with that significant difference in tire wear.
Yeah, the hard tyres kind of plateau out once you get about halfway through the life. Don't get any faster for sure, but they don't get massively slower. They're really good for consistency, but they do drop off eventually. Like once you get to maybe like 15, 16, you will start to feel the drop off and that cliff coming in, but until then, like, they kind of plateau out in the middle and they give you a very level race tyre, so that's why I think you're seeing Synchro not falling off the back massively, even though he's got 10 lap older hards.
Yeah, I mean, now that I mention this, that gap went from 0.6 down to 1.2, so maybe speaking a little bit too soon. Irish New Potato, he's staying out for one more lap, but now that gap between he and Mark is 8.9 seconds. And currently growing is that gap between Irish New Potato and Mark. So I think Irish New Potato doing a very good job just pushing that car. But now we're seeing some fastest laps. Nazareth with a near 118 flat. He's flying on what is 19 lap old medium tire, or 19 lap old hard tires, apologies, as he's right up behind Demorts now, battling for a top 5 position. So Nazareth, he's gonna have to take another pit stop, I think. But he's had a really solid recovery drive after getting caught up in multiple incidents early on in the session to find himself back in P6.
Yeah, Nazareth is, what he's doing is he's gonna really start to...
That's, I think, KTM Sweden, as he is facing the wall right now, he's gonna have to get back on track, as he's trying to get around as much as he can, but he's going to have to back up maybe a little bit more than that if he wants to get back on track. Either that or a wait before resetting. Watch out here as he's trying to get back on. Thankfully, he's might not get too involved with the ghosting there, but KTM Sweden really not having that race he was hoping for at all here with 10 laps to go. It just seems to be going from bad to worse for him. But Nazareth, though, just to get back on him, he's taking
he's in the wall.
Yeah, hit the wall there, and that might be a last second, maybe a last second wing change for him. So a bit of a costly mistake there.
It is.
Oh no, that's going to be a big time loss for him. But he's putting on the soft tires and can definitely go to the end. But we'll have to see how costly that time loss is for him, as he's falling down to 10th, and it could continue to fall here as he's in 11th. And maybe even down to 12th as Krishna gets ahead of him.
Yeah, so we've got quite a spread out field right now. So if we look at this, Irish New Potatoes on 17-year-old lap hards, with Mark on 7-year-old lap hards. This is now effectively going to be for the win. So is Irish New Potato going to have maybe 21 to 25 seconds in his pocket on a set of softs if he pits off these tyres? Or are you just going to try and extend these tyres all the way to the end and just hope the Mark doesn't catch him?
I mean, as the laps are dwindling down, it looks like he might just be trying to extend these tires. The gap between Nude Potato and Mark has been fluctuating right around... It's down to 8.5 seconds now, but it was only 9 seconds a few laps ago when I peaked at that. But crucially, I think they're both... I think the gap between New Potato and Mark is both, it's growing to Synchro, who's currently in 3rd. So maybe New Potato's aware of that, and he's just trying to go as long as he can. Maybe so that way when he does pit for softs, he can be in a decent position. Maybe try to come out right around in P4, maybe P5 at the absolute worst, if he's able to just continue to grow that gap. But Mark now is starting to close up much faster, as I think, like you were mentioning, Mushroom, that cliff on those hard tires, I think, is starting to hit now for Irish Nude Potato, as like I said, very quickly that gap closed up about a half a second to a second here between just with a 1 lap difference.
So, if Irish Nude Potato pits now, he's going to come out roughly between Nole and Michael Furies. And that's about 27.5 seconds away. So that's roughly what your pit lane loss is round here, to be safe. So he needs to do maybe another 2-3 more laps just to clear Bumblebee, so he gets P5. But I don't know. Nole's had a connection problem, I believe. He left the session.
Yeah, it looks like it. As yeah, that definitely looks like a ghosted Ferrari on your screen. So not what Nole was hoping for, especially with the championship implications for him this late in the season, as he's only down in 8th. And what I can only assume are his biggest competitors here, the likes of Mark and Cohen, finding themselves in P2 and P4 at the moment, and could be possibly in P1 and P3 by the time this is all said and done. Could even be a 1-2 if Synchro doesn't stay out until the end, if Synchro takes a pit stop, or even if that cliff starts to hit on Synchro as well, and really starts to lose out on pace. So something to keep an eye out here, as this could really make things interesting in the battle for the Drivers' Championship here very late in the season. But Irish Potato,
not what you'd like with 3 laps, 3 races remaining. This being the 3rd. So with 2 races after this, it's not what you want. It's you've not got time to recover them points, if you like.
No, definitely not. But I do want to say though, for Nole, he's been very lucky. He's had a lot of consistent finishes, so he has accumulated a lot of points. But a costly mistake like this, if the might close up that championship a lot more than Nole would have wanted here this late in the session. Now Dark now getting ahead of him.
If Nole can join back, he's not lost too much. Yes, he's lost a position to Dark, but Michael Suarez has 9 seconds of penalty. Cohen has 6 seconds, so that hands D-Mart's 4. So if you look at this, we've got a few people with a fair few penalties stacking up. Nazareth up on 12 seconds. That really doesn't help you in as much as trying to get a good result, because all that hard work you did in the race just comes all undone once you cross the line.
Yeah, and that's where I mean, keeping it clean here on this circuit is definitely something you got to do. We have a safety car here. That was Ephraim now out of this race, and this is maybe a gift that has fallen in the hands of Irish Potato. But no, actually, Irish Potato is already way past the pit lane, so he's gonna have to go around for one more lap here before he can hope to get off of these soft tires or those hard tires. But if I'm taking a look, Synchro's pitting. Cohen was able to pit and put on a fresh set of soft tires. And Irish New Potato, he's stuck under the Delta. And I think so is Mark and D-Morts for that matter, and even Bumblebee. But Bumblebee is in a decent position still, as he's on only 5-lap-old medium tires. But Irish New Potato, I think that safety car came out just a tiny little bit too late for him, as he was taking turn 1 and turn 2. But he might still be able to take a bit of a pit stop here.
Synchro is de facto leader, so you shouldn't gain or lose time under the Delta, so he should be able to pit like it had happened right now. But hopefully it doesn't ruin his race too much, but it could be a massive gift this, because 21-year-old old hards are not very kind tyres to be on, like, they do hurt.
No, so he is pitting. Now the question is, what's Mark going to do? Mark is going to take a pit stop too, so I think Mark opted to just follow Nude Potato. D-Morts, he's in net P3 right now. Let's see what D-Morts is going to do as he's coming around the corner under safety car. Is D-Morts going to stay out, or is he going to take a pit stop here? D-Morts is staying out. So it's going to be close here. I think Irish New Potato might just get out in time. I think the Delta now... Oh no, the Delta is back, I think, for D-Morts. As just now, Irish New Potato out in P1. D-Morts now in P2. And Mark, maybe the person who lost out a bit of the most, he's down in 3rd now. Synchro's up into 4th now on that fresh set of softs. And meanwhile, Bumblebee, he's falling down the order too, as he had to wait an extra lap to pit off of his tires to put on a fresh set of mediums.
Okay, so Nole's now gained some of them places he lost with a bit of a bad strategy earlier, if you want to call it that. Back to 6th, but I do believe he's going to get eaten off the start again. And same for D-Marts. I don't know why you would stay out on the hards for P2 when the two people you was racing for that P2 just boxed for softs. He's missed an opportunity there, and I think that was one that he'll look back on and go, with a little bit more experience and a little bit more race time, I would have made a very different choice there.
Possibly, but he might be thinking just hang on to track position more than be on the ideal tires, because it can be, I mean, it can not necessarily be all that great here for him, but like I said, Spain is not the easiest track to overtake, so unless the likes of the soft tire runners get that run off of the, off of the final corner into the start-finish straight, but even then, it comes back to nailing the exit of this final chicane that we're going through now.
I can't see him keeping hold of his podium. He's on two sets harder compound, and they've already got 8 laps on him. I think he's going to find himself maybe a little bit of a sitting duck through that middle sector, where he'll find people like ISRL Mark and his teammate Sinker will be crawling all over him, just going, we need to pass him, nude potatoes pulling away.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's definitely not an ideal place for him to be in, but this late in the race, we're on lap 29 out of 33, so maybe he just felt that he could gain more under track position staying out than he would taking his pit stop and trying to battle with everybody else on the softs.
Yeah, if I was D-Marts, you're going to have maybe 3-lap shootout at the end, saying the safety car comes in this lap. So, can you hold on for 3 laps around here and not lose any more than 3 places? You can, and it's possible. I don't expect him to fall all the way down past 6. Like, I do expect him only to lose 3 places. There's only 3 good overtaking opportunities around here. Over a lap. So you've got the pit straight, you've got the back straight, and you do have turn 6, which is the downhill hairpin just after the long first 2 corners, if you like. That is a good overtaking opportunity, and I will expect the soft runners to be having a look into turn 6 on the restart with only 3 laps left. This is going to be a bit of a mad scramble, I think.
Yeah, but here we go. Safety car is coming in this lap, and I couldn't have picked a better wording for it myself, Mushroom. It's going to be a mad scramble to the finish here, and the question that's it's on my mind is, can D-Morts hang on to P2, or is he going to get eaten alive on those hard tires? I like to give D-Morse the benefit of the doubt, but it's not looking great for him, especially with a big tank slapper like that off the restart. Already Mark alongside him as they're heading towards turn 1. It's a drag race here, it looks like, as we get a much better angle here into turn 1. D-Morse has got the inside line. Is he gonna hang on? I think Mark is gonna try a switchback move through into turn 2, leading into turn 3. It's gonna be really close. A little bit of grass was taken, but Mark does get the overtake done. Now, what's going to happen here between D-Morts and his teammate now? Bumblebee getting ahead. Nolay losing out in a few positions. Cohen is now getting involved in this battle here, but he has to get past Synchro, so maybe D-Morts' teammate might play to a little bit of an advantage here, looking at a team game rather than the individual battle, especially with D-Morts with a clean race and Synchro having some time penalties here. So Synchro
might be very hard to let Synchro pass now because Cohen's all over him.
And that's the thing.
He can't help his teammate.
But even if Synchro passes, there might be D-Morts could snag that position right back under penalties. So there could be some discussion in the Racing Point garage of Synchro keep back Cohen and just help D-Morts trek to victory and snag those good points for the constructor. But as we're ending lap 30, starting lap 31, questions will be answered, and I think Cohen might have a bit of... no, actually, there's still no DRS. Bumblebee needs to take a pit stop as he now takes a speeding in the pit lane penalty very late.
Why.
Yeah, I'm not
He got no damage on that front wing. He got no damage, so unless he's serving... Was he serving a drive-through?
It might have been a drive-through that he had there, because it didn't switch his tires, and it looked like he just went straight through the pits. So from bad to worse for him, as not only did he have to serve a drive-through, which sends him way down the order, he's now got essentially a 5-second penalty. Now I'm trying to take a look as no layback in the car. Ooh, a big moment from Nazareth. There's Krishna gets by, Dark gets by here very late in the race. Nazareth falling down to P9 as he was trying down into turn 6. Like you were saying, Mushroom trying that sneaky move, but didn't work out for him at all. Dark, meanwhile, ooh, Nazareth's now going to try down the inside here. A very daring move for sure. And there's a little bit of contact between the Red Bull and the Mercedes. Nazareth, though, gets that position back from Dark. Dark might not be too happy about that move down the inside, but he's going to have to live with it. But we've got a big train here right behind the Ferrari of Nole. All the while, though, the top 5 have kind of run away with it.
Oh,
but now,
okay.
Uh-oh, what'd you see?
I seen no way during what can only be described as questionable weaving down that pit straight. And I know you don't want to lose the place to Krishna and Nazareth, but you are only permitted to one movement in a straight line.
Crucially, maybe trying to break the toe, but I didn't quite get a good look at it as I was switching back to that battle for the podium between the Racing Points and Cohen. But now
squeezed him off the road.
Yeah, but Nazareth got ahead. Now Krishna got ahead. So I guess at the end of the day, the move was done. But possibly something the stewards might look at to gauge the severity of that driving. Now Nole is now coming back on Nazareth as they're going to go side by side. Oh no! And that was Nole who got hit. That was Dark who went way deep, taking the new layout, it looks like, around that corner almost. Completely missing the braking point. Maybe Dark not happy with the movement at all and trying to take matters into his own hands. I hope that's not the case, but
I don't.
God darn it, I'm going to make some storylines here.
From what I've seen, I wouldn't be reporting no way if I was Nazareth myself. What? Oh, come on, Nazareth. I know he did it to you, but you can... It's on stream. What I've seen from these two has been very on the edge. The stewards will probably be looking at this because they've been playing bumper cars for the last 2 laps effectively. Michael Fures isn't interested in any of that though, and
no, but he's going down the inside now. Yeah, so Nazareth's gonna have to take the long way around. He does get a little bit of better traction, so he comes into the inside line in downhill turn 6. But they're going to have to get this sorted out quickly before coming into turn 8. Turn 7, not really much of a turn, similar to Russia turn 1. But now Nazareth's so close. If he can get this exit, he might be able to chase back. Goes a little bit wide, though, does Nazareth. So that might be what Michael Fures needed to just hang on to that P8. But crucially, though, as all of this is happening here under the restart, D-Morts is still in 3rd through all of this, and as they're coming around for the final corner of the final lap, it's Irish New Potato who takes the win, Mark in 2nd, and D-Morts, he does it. He hangs on to P3 on those 14-lap old, but no, Krishna snags the podium on penalties by about less than 1/10 of a second. So heartbreak for D-Morts as he does all he can, but loses out on penalties to Krishna, who just sneaks into a podium here after all is said and done. What a drive from Krishna at the end. I didn't even realize he was so close to the podium.
Yeah, I didn't realize Krishna had snuck himself into a podium place there, but I think that's a really good drive from D-Morts for 4th, but Krishna, incredible. Where did that come from?
I have no idea. I mean, it's one of those things that, thankfully, since he's on the podium, we can get a post-race interview and ask him how he, ask him about that, because honestly, I didn't think he was anywhere near the podium, but all of a sudden, I mean, I guess I wasn't paying attention to the penalties as much as I had. Too busy preoccupied with all the battles off the safety car restart. But my goodness, what a crazy finish that was! Congratulations to the podium. And definitely well earned there. And it's a solid drive from everybody involved. will take us through the order one more time, and it's the AlphaTauri of Irish New Potato who takes the victory here. Mark in second, and Krishna rounding out the podium after starting in 14th. Demorts, he gets 4th after all of that, after qualifying in 10th. Synchro rounding out the top 5. Nole still snags P6 out of that, even after the connection issues. So still a good finish for him, with Michael Furious in 7th, Cohen in 8th, and Nazareth falling down to 9th, with Bumblebee rounding out the top 10. Dark in 11th, KTM Sweden in 12th, with Jordan in 13th. Then we have the likes of Ephraim, Azen, and Redding, who DNF'd out of the race, are not classified here, but end in 14th, 15th, and 16th, respectively. But my goodness, that was absolutely insane there right at the end. Lots of battles. And looks like, I'm looking at the chat here, Nole had power cut and was racing with no sound for 3 laps. My goodness.
I could not imagine racing without sound, to be honest, because you require it so much to drive on all these things, and yeah, it's a big part of the experience and driving around here is to drive with sound and to understand exactly where you are in your rev range. So
especially at this level of racing, where you need to be able to hear the engine, you've got to be able to figure out where your revs are. It's a lot easier to do it by sound rather than through just looking at your telemetry. But I'll get into the showroom here so we can try to get into the post-race interviews, get some input. Bear with me a moment as I just go ahead and send the invites off over to our podium so we can get their thoughts post-race. Alright. Yeah, so we have currently Mark in and Krishna in. So Mark, we'll start with you. So a solid drive from you all around. It's maybe not the outcome you're hoping for with the at least with the start of the race, but still a solid P2 for you. So take us through it. What are your thoughts here after that race?
Good qualifying. Obviously qualified on the medium, so couldn't do any better than second really, since the guy from me qualified on softs. But still a good race. Irish New Potato got very lucky with that safety car. I only needed one more lap to skip him, so that's unfortunate. I could have easily got doing. But he had good pace on those hards, so fair play.
Yeah, and when that late safety car came out, did it cross your mind at all, maybe to try to stay out on your set of hard tires and hang on to track position, or were you committed to just taking that pit stop, putting on the softs?
I knew the guys behind they were quite far away, so I knew that if I pitted, I would have still come out P2 or P3, and I ended up coming out P3. So no, I didn't cross my mind staying out, because I know the hards were not going to do anything against brand new softs.
Mushroom, anything to add to that at all?
Did you realise that you kind of lost the race with the safety car, or did you still think you had a chance at winning that race, because you was on the same tyres as Irish New Potato?
You know, it crossed my mind that I said, okay, I'm not going to win, because Irish Potato is very fast paced, especially on those hards. He was definitely faster than me. I was only gaining on him because of the wear on his hards that he started with, or pitted lap 2. But um, but no, I think that I just tried to gain on him, but couldn't do anything more.
Yeah, it was a really solid drive there. Do you think you could have maybe given a challenge if you'd been given longer than the 3 laps for DRS to come back? Because we never got to see a proper DRS activation.
Definitely. I just needed one more lap. I just needed one more lap, and I would have gotten past him. I crossed the line only 3/10 behind him, so I know I would have gotten him on that straight. I know I had the faster pace.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. There we go. Input from Mark. Now this is the person I really want to be talking to here. Krishna. So Krishna, it's a podium for you, and I'll be honest, at least as far as myself and Mushroom were aware in the commentators booth, a bit of a surprise podium. But talk us through it. What are your thoughts here after that race?
I feel quite okay. I don't know how to feel, to be honest, because like the beginning of the race and the stuff were a bit too, what shall I say? People today were a bit committed, I think, a bit too committed in some places. So the fun was a bit minimized in the beginning, but then I just tried to keep it without a penalty and hope for that late safety car, which really helped me, and then just really lucky to beat D-Mods by less than a tenth. So in the end, I'm pretty happy, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely... Yeah. Oh, sorry, go on ahead.
Yeah, that safety car really helped you there at the end. Obviously, it's a massive shame for your teammate, but are you going to say thank you later on? Because it was your teammate that brought that safety car out and really brought you back into that race at the end.
Yeah, I said to him in the party chat already that I shouldn't be happy, but I am still, because I have an opportunity now. But would have been better to get both of us in the points. Somebody else crashing out to get the safety car would have been more fun for me. But yeah, I take the podium. So yeah.
Yeah. Now, after starting in P14, did you think you would have finished the race with a podium? I'ma just ask this straight up.
I thought I have a good chance for top 5, to be honest, but not to finish on the podium. Podium was only the thing if there was a late safety car. And then, like, after the first few laps where people just went all over the place, I just thought, okay, if I finish this race with no penalty, I would be in good points. And that's what happened, so...
And was there, at what point did you realize that that podium was actually within grasp for you?
When I went over to the line and saw it, because I only saw, like, Cohen in front, and who was the other one? Synchro, I think?
Yeah, Synchro and D-Morts, I think.
I saw their penalties and thought, okay, nice P4, still a good finish, and couldn't see the thing of D-Morts, like how many penalty he has, and was just a bit surprised until I saw it.
There you go. So the shock, an equal amount of shock from you as it was for us in the commentators booth, but a solid finish, solid haul of points for you, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Problem. Now I'm looking here. It doesn't look like we have Irish Newt Potato who jumped in, but I see we've got Nole here in the party. So I guess we'll do our third interview with the Ferrari drivers. So Nole, maybe not the best race for you, all things considered, but from what you're indicating in the chat, on the other hand, a fantastic race for you, all things considered. So take us through it. What are your thoughts here at the end of this race?
Yeah, I just want to have a talk with Mark from that this championship is really getting close, maybe too close from my side. But after this race, I'm just happy to finish in P6 after I was like the first stint I was on softs. I got calculated if I go longer on the softs, I could do one stop on the hards and finish the race. But after I pitted, they put on the medium, so I was like, okay, yep, here goes my race. It seems to be the hard. So then further on my race, I just have I have thunderstorm around my area and the power shut off, the power cut off. So for like lap 22, I have no control of my car and I was just praying safety car, safety car, safety car. And it came, I quickly rejoined, and I think it was lap 30, and I have no sound. I could not hear when to shift up or shift down. So it was like crazy. I also have my old hards on, so just happy to finish the race on P6.
At the end of that race, we seen quite close racing with Nazarus there. Are we going to see a bit of a rivalry form there? Because neither of you was leaving any room for either of each other, and it was really elbows out racing.
Yeah, he was like, "Hi, I am a Merc. I'm gonna pass you, fucking shit Ferrari." But like, it could happen. I did not going to attack him right now for rivalry. So just happened. Nothing too bad. It's racing.
There we go.
Yeah,
I was gonna say a little bit of choice words there from Nole with that comment. I mean,
I think we can firmly say the rivalry is on.
Yeah, I think so. But now, I'll be honest. My final question here that I'm going to ask both Nole and Mark here, since you're both in the party. We've got 2 races to go now. Between yourself, Leparcta, and between the 2 of you and Leparcta, with the gaps probably as close as they are. Who's taking this? Who's taking the drivers?
I don't know yet. I don't know yet. it's hard to tell, you know.
It's indeed hard to tell.
The 2 tracks remaining are the 2 of my strongest tracks, so hopefully
so there you have it. Alright, there you have it.
There you have it. Even in Div 2, the top drivers make the other drivers scared.
Yep. So, but I think before this gets a little bit too hectic here, I think we'll call the stream here. But what a race that was! Thank you everybody for tuning in. I do hope you enjoyed this as much as I did here. Now, if you did enjoy this, make sure to tune in about 30 minutes time, where Division 1 will take to the track. It should be myself and Mushroom who can take you through that. It's going to be a fantastic race. You won't want to miss that. But until then, thank you so much for watching, and have yourselves a fantastic day.